So I got Stephanie in the building. It's your live host, Lamont Mayer Jr. We're about to have a good time this Friday, and we going to send y'all out this weekend with a bang. We are here with the committee chair of the Champ Series. We got my guy, Cy Guy, okay? We got Cy Guy, who is our producer for this live event. He's on the background. Cy, say hello to the people of NIRSA. Cy, where you at? Do we still got Cy on? There he is, my guy, Cy Guy. Hey, listen, we can't do this without Cy Guy, all right? If you don't know who Simon is from NIRSA, but you want to know the history of NIRSA, you want to know the going-ons of NIRSA, you want to know who Simon is, okay? Make sure you stay in touch with him because he knows everything that we got going on. He knows everything that we're doing, and he's kind of proud because he knows where we're going, all right? That's why I got him on this call. Stephanie.
Hello.
This was extremely a must for me because for y'all who don't know, we do the committee chair notes every month. You did your first one in June, or was it no? Was it June or was it June was your first one? And that sucker went all over the place, like immediately. And I said, hey, Cy, we got to get Stephanie on the call. Cy reached out. You immediately said yes, and here we are. How are you doing this Friday, Stephanie?
I am doing great. Very glad to be here.
And where you at?
I am in Statesboro, Georgia. I work at Georgia Southern University.
Nice. Statesboro, Georgia, Georgia Southern University. And now, if I'm not mistaken, y'all are the Eagles over
That's right.
The Eagles. All right. So what y'all saying is like Eagle Proud or something like that? You know, everybody got their own little hashtag. So what is it for Georgia Southern?
At Georgia Southern, we say GATA, G-A-T-A. And so it stands for get after that, and then you can throw in your choice of a word there. Sometimes it's academics, and sometimes it's more colorful.
We all know what the word is. Okay. We all know exactly what the word is for Ghana. We had a women's basketball coach when I was coaching in high school. We had the women's basketball coach team. That was like our chat. Ghana was our chat. So as soon as you said it, I knew exactly what it was. No, so y'all know it. Get after that academics.
That's exactly. That's what I tell my students, at least.
I am glad to have you on. And look, this is the championship series. Okay, this is the sports and athletic side of NIRSA. So I had to pull out my stripes for this one right here, representing the championship series with my hat right here. Shout out to LC for getting me right. All right, now look, I got a couple of questions for you. Okay, because obviously you have a lot of people that you have connected with, you have impacted, that know the work that you've done in NIRSA. I can tell that by the engagement that we got when you posted your first notes, okay? So we got a couple of questions for you, and for the people who don't know who you are and don't know how passionate you are about what you do, who have not read any of the championship notes, hopefully we could get them hooked starting today, okay? So do you have anything before I jump into these questions that I have for you? Do you have anything you want to say to the NIRSA Network? You have them in front of you right now.
Yeah, thanks for reading the article. I'm glad that people enjoyed it. It was about people, so it's fun that people are reading it. People are why I've continued to be involved with the series, and I have 11 more to come out, so keep reading.
Hey, look, 11 more. Y'all make sure y'all locked in to every last one of them, starting with this conversation right here. So, when did you get your start in university recreation? Was it officiating? Is that where you started?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
okay, so tell us a little bit about that. What sport was it? What was the ups and downs of it? Tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. So when I started college, I was applying for jobs, and it was literally anything and everything. And the first thing that I heard back from was being a ref. So I said, sure, we'll give it a go. Grew up playing sports, enjoyed the idea of staying connected. I was at the University of Georgia for undergrad, and so worked as a student official and in a lot of different sports, and kind of moved my way up. Got to go to a couple of different championship series events, and that's when I knew I was hooked and started seeing that collegiate recreation was more than just something that happened on my campus, but we were all doing this. And so that's what started the wheels turning.
Nice. That origin story. That's what everybody, almost everybody I've spoken to, have in common. We didn't even know this was a thing, and then we got into it. We got hooked into it, and we've been in it every since. So that's amazing. It was the same for me. I was in marketing. I was working merchandising sales, and right after COVID, a university rec center wanted someone who was good with marketing to come on
Mm-hmm.
in. I didn't even know this was a field that you could have a career in. But now here we are. How many years after since you started?
Oh gosh, I'm afraid to do the math. I started probably working at the rec center in undergrad in 2013, 2014, something like that. So just over 10 years.
Nice, 10 years in the game. All right, so let me ask you this: what are some of the skills that you think you've developed from officiating alone? So we're not even going to talk about yet. You know, your work on the site and you being a professional staff. Let's talk about officiating only. Okay,
Yeah.
what are some of those skills that you develop? And let's talk to our students out there. Students, listen up here, okay? Because look, you're not just out there calling games. You're not just out there, hey, I'm trying to make a paycheck. I'm going to guess we don't pay the officials what they need to be paid because we can't, right?
Yep.
But y'all have an important role in intramurals and club sports, you officials, okay? So tell us a little bit about the skills that you develop from being a official that has translated now that you are a professional staff and the committee chair of the championship series. Tell us about it.
Definitely. The first one that comes to mind is communication. As an official, it's really important that you're communicating not only with the other officials on the field, making sure that they know what's going on, what you're seeing, your perspective on things. What if you have a different call than them? You have to come together and talk about it. But also communication with the players on the field or on the court. I officiate both football and basketball, and so it's important to make sure that they know what we're seeing because we're out here to serve them and play, like, serve the game. And so being able to communicate with them so they can play the game to the best of their ability is only going to make everybody happy. And those are things that I absolutely use in my full-time job and with the Champ Series. Being able to communicate with my coworkers, those people like the officials that are on your team, being able to communicate with the patrons, the people that are coming to our building or participating in our programs is the same as being able to communicate with the players on the field. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. I think there's also some conflict management that comes up with there. One of the hard things about officiating, and you know it, you're in the stripes, that every game somebody's leaving unhappy, and part of the reason is going to be you. You're somebody that they can blame.
Every time.
You could call a perfect game 100%. The NFL is picking up the phone saying, holy crap, we need you on the field. Somebody's still leaving unhappy. And so being able to manage that and manage the knowing that you can tell them exactly what you're thinking about and it's still not going to make them happy, but being able to deal with that conflict and know that you did your best out there is something that definitely comes into play, not only in officiating, but also in your work life. Sometimes being a leader means making tough choices and upsetting people, but being able to manage that conflict and still keep people engaged with your team is something that is an art that officiating can help you practice.
It is. Look, I told when I was training my officials, the first thing I told them, I said, all of y'all suck. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all right now, every last one of y'all suck. Okay, you may be great at officiating. I'm telling you right now, that's what you're gonna hear.
Yep.
You suck. Okay,
Yep.
you can't get past. Okay, so This wasn't one of the questions, but I'm going to go off script a little bit right now. So tell me that moment in officiating when you went back to your dorm, your apartment, or whatever, and you said, "Hey, I don't know if this is for me."
Oh my gosh.
What was that?
I still have that moment. What are you talking about? I'll get off the field and I'll cry in my car for a minute and then keep going. No, I'm just kidding. Well, kind of. It still happens, but there's all the stuff in between that makes it worth it. And then knowing that you're giving back to the game and the community. Anyway, but there definitely was that moment. And I will tell you what it was. I was reffing a game that involved some students on one team of flag football game, and then there were some professional staff members on the other. And they're the sneaky ones. So this is also a message to you professional staff members that are out there playing intramurals. You got to be nice to the ref. They could be a little sophomore that's going to go home and cry in her dorm. She's doing her best out there. But man, both sides are giving me a hard time. And I think it's because they both seen me around and were trying to get in my head, and it worked. But I'm glad I stuck with it.
And then you like pro staff. Come on, y'all supposed to be helping me out
Exactly.
here, and y'all getting all
Exactly.
competitive. And now you walking around the office talking about I suck. You, what are we doing here?
You know how much I'm getting paid.
All right, so tell me that you're at Georgia Southern right now. So tell us a little bit about your career navigation. Okay, that is an important story that all of our students who have, like yourself, have fallen in love with collegiate recreation and say, you know what, this is what I want to do, as well as the early years professionals. Tell us a little bit about your journey as a professional. Is Georgia Southern your first university that you worked at, or did you travel a little bit?
Yeah, yeah. I bounced around, which I feel like is similar to a lot of folks in collegiate recreation. So, as I
Mm-hmm.
mentioned, I attended the University of Georgia in Athens for undergrad, got started in campus rec there. Similar to like you were saying, where it wasn't what you intended, I was studying political science and women's studies.
Wow.
I thought I was gonna go work on a campaign and change the world and all that kind of stuff. Not saying I'm not changing the world, it just looks a little different once I found campus rec. I ended up
Mm-hmm.
going after that once I realized this is something I wanted to at least feel out a little bit more. I went to Indiana University and was a
Mm-hmm.
graduate assistant for intramural sports there. So learned that it was a field that I wanted to be involved in, but I didn't want to be in the cold. So, like anyone did, I moved somewhere else where it was cold, and I went to West Virginia University. And I absolutely loved it. Morgantown was wonderful. Worked in their
Nice.
competitive sports program, learned
Okay.
a lot, got my hands dirty, getting back to the basics of a lot of stuff, and really learning what it felt like to be at a really developing growth program. And I'm glad to say that they are thriving now, and it was fun to be a part of that. That come up for them. And
Mm-hmm.
now well, actually, and then I went back to the University of Georgia. So it was fun to be back at my alma mater for a little bit, close to home with family and stuff like that, in another competitive sports role. But in the past year or so, I moved down here to Georgia Southern, which is near Savannah in Statesboro, Georgia, and I'm actually working in facilities. So
Okay.
knowing that I want to stay in campus rec, I wanted to diversify my experience a little bit. I'd have several positions in competitive sports, but I'm trying to be a director one day, so I need to make sure that
What?
I'm doing what I can do to get as much variety as I can and be competitive in the search when it comes time for the next thing.
I see why people are following you, and the moment that you put your notes up, everybody started liking and sharing and commenting on it. Hey, you are on the path that almost everybody. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say everybody who connects with NIRSA, they want this mindset of we don't want to stay still. We don't want to just have a whole bunch of information. We want to be able to apply it, make an impact, and we want to be able to navigate our career and get to the places that we want to get to. So you're
Absolutely.
a great example of
Thank you.
that. So look at who we got on this call here, man. All
And I'm
right, so
really
look,
thankful that Georgia Southern gave me the opportunity to be able to try something different, because it'd be easy to look at my resume and say, that's a competitive sports girl. What is she going to know about managing a
yes,
facility? But them saying those intangible skills that we were talking about, or those transferable skills, they're like, she can figure it out. And luckily, I feel like I've done an okay job, but I appreciate them giving me the opportunity to give it a go and give it a try.
well, look, I'm glad you say that because I'm gonna take a little. Oh, yes, yes. I'm going to take a little break right here from the action to get on to the people who aren't doing that. Directors, associate directors, hiring managers, stop looking at people's resume and looking at the title of the position that they held and simply dismissing them because they didn't hold the title that, look, we want people to be able to flow like water in between from programming to facilities. We want people to be able to expand the knowledge that they know so they can make a bigger impact. So y'all make sure y'all are actually doing the interview and listening to the interview and not forming your own opinions just based off a doggone resume. Get the people in there and talk to them. We could do virtual calls, all that. It doesn't take much time to realize that, hey, Stephanie Calhoun is going to be the committee chair of the championship series at some point. Okay. All right. So look, um, let's talk a little bit about NIRSA. Okay. I
Yes.
can't. I'll get fired at some point if I let you talk about yourself and Georgia Southern, and we don't talk a little bit about NIRSA. Okay. So let's talk about NIRSA. Um, you there's no way you get to the position that you're in right now as the committee chair without putting some work in. with the association. Okay, so talk a little bit about your work that you, if someone who is just coming in to university recreation, they like, hey, what she's doing and how she is and the impact she's making, I want to be that one day. Tell us a little bit about your experiences of getting to where you are right now, and as the committee chair, and talk a little bit about the champ series as well.
Wonderful. Yeah, like I alluded to, starting off as a student official, I attended a couple of events. And so maybe a little plug is also make sure people in charge of your intramural programs that you're sending your students to this, because you never know where it can lead. But after going and refing in a couple tournaments, meeting people, I was like, okay, I like this. So then when it came time to be a graduate assistant, I started applying to work at tournaments. So I was on at the time, it was called the All Tournament Committee, which is now the Tech Committee, or I was being on officials committee and getting to teach the students. And in those opportunities, I talked to as many people as I could, not just the student officials, but the other professionals. And I would say, without a doubt, that having those relationships and being able to talk to people is why I've been able to get jobs that I want and go on and do the next things, because that's where you start to make those relationships, is when you have boots on the ground and you're working through those things.
That's right.
But the short of it is going, and I just started applying to every tournament I could go to. And sometimes I was going in the university vehicle, and sometimes I was taking my own, and sometimes I had officials with me, and sometimes it was just me. But from there, I eventually started saying, okay, I love this, I'm having fun, but tournaments are only happening in my region 2 or 3 times a year. I want to do more. And so I applied to be a part of a work team. I chose the flag football work team because flag football is my favorite sport, and had a blast with it. So it gave me year-round work with the championship series and getting to know people for more than just a weekend. We were working on projects and things like that together to help promote tournaments, which was then going and giving people those experiences that I had in person. So I'm still going to tournaments all along the way, but volunteering year-round. And then from that, somehow wound up being the vice chair and then the chair of the flag football work team, which has then turned into being on the executive team. So you just never know, like, if you're putting in the work all along, what type of thing will go to the next. And I just love the opportunities that have come from just showing up as a student official and saying, let's see what this is about.
Nice. So let's talk about the tournaments, because over the past 20 years, and shout out to Sci Guy. Sci Guy is the one that does the research behind the scenes. It's not just that he's been here for 15 years with NIRSA, but he actually does the work behind the scene to make sure we're telling the right stories out here. So over the last 20 years, we know the Champ Series tournaments have just skyrocketed, and y'all always have like an amazing presentation with the things that y'all do and the impact that y'all make with students. We hear so many success stories of people who started just like that. Well, I went to nationals and I was refereeing in nationals, and now I'm on the road to summer league in NBA refereeing and things like that's amazing, you know. And I'm not gonna say that the Champ Series alone is the reason why but it can't help. Yeah, exactly.
It's not hurting.
That's right, man. That's a lot of experience with that. So with that being undeniable, the impact that the Champ Series has on NIRSA, what is your hopes moving forward for the series? Okay, now you Heart of the Series is the name of your blog every month. Okay, so where is your heart as far as what you would like for this to be over the next year while you have this position, and what legacy you want to leave for the next year?
Yeah, I think part of what I'm hoping to leave as a legacy is something that's already been put in motion a little bit. And this is a quick plug of my next article talking about the series strategic plan that was just released at the annual conference this past year. And so we found that we needed a revamp of some of the goals and strategic plan that the Champ Series had, because we have a new wave of volunteers. We're in a post-COVID area with new volunteers coming in. Some people like me are about to be moving on their way out, and we want some new folks to come in. And so my hope is that with the strategic plan and with this new wave of volunteers that are coming in, that we can keep the series going. And it may seem like a simple thing, but we're in a world now where there's a million things that can take up people's time, and volunteering is not always at the top of people's list. But the people are why I come back. When I look and see, okay, where we have hosting regionals this year, I'm looking and I'm saying, oh, I can go see X, Y, and Z at this tournament, and X, Y, and Z at this tournament. And oh, that means I need to make sure I get to this one so I can see these friends. I hope that that's what other people can get out of this, is that opportunity to create relationships, and that drive to make the series better is motivated from each other, and that we're just adding to each other. Yeah.
we are in the business of people. No matter what product, no matter what tournament, no matter what institute, we are in the business of people. And when you are focused on people, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. Okay, so let me ask you this, all right? And this is my last question. Um, if we have NIRSA members who have not volunteered, and I'm talking about officials who have not taken all they're doing is officiating intramural season, and they haven't taken the next step to. We just had the intramural club sport institute, okay. Y'all have so many other different things that they can get involved in, get their hands on, and I'm pretty sure it's different scales. Like you don't have to spend all of your time doing it. Talk about some of the things that these students and these early career professionals, some of the things that they can do to volunteer, to get involved, to not only enhance NIRSA and the championship series, but enhance their own professional careers. Talk to them about some of the opportunities that they have to do that.
Absolutely. So, students, the main way that we see them volunteering is by going and officiating. But if that's not for you, if you're not somebody who wants to go to a flag football tournament or go to a basketball tournament, you can still volunteer to be on at a tournament. I think that's a misconception sometimes. And I think that is also something that we need to make sure as host sites and the Champ Series leadership are doing a good job of making sure that we're getting new people involved and giving those students an opportunity. But we do see a lot of graduate assistants in particular going and being a part of different committees at tournaments. So like boots on the ground at that level. I think something that often gets forgot about, so if I had just one huge plug to give, it's volunteer to be on a work team. So we have a little while before that comes around, but by being in a work team, you can learn about the ins and outs and the logistics of what happens on the back end. That's not just the tournament and play, and that's only going to make you a more qualified volunteer for going and being in person at a regional or national tournament. So those would be the three best ways to get involved with the Champ Series: is officiate, be on a work team, and then volunteer at a specific regional or national event.
And don't let her have to tell y'all again. Don't let her have to tell y'all again. Make sure y'all get involved with those three. Come on, y'all. Come on. Hey, we have to be able to do this together. And I tell you right now, 3 months into NIRSA, if there's anything that I have learned, is we cannot do it without our volunteers. Y'all are the biggest asset that NIRSA has. So please consider volunteering. Now, Stephanie, it's your stage now. Okay. Now look, you're a little of a pro at this because you've been plugging all through this thing. Okay. I didn't have to tell you to plug.
Cheated the system.
Hey, we didn't pre-plan you plugging or anything. You just naturally plugging it in there, okay? But now you have your own platform here with the NIRSA Network. There we go. Hey, look. Hey, Si, every time it's time for them to plug, you make sure you hit those chimes because we let the NIRSA Network know that, hey, it's time for you to listen up. Ears open, heart open. Stephanie, what we got? Let them know what they need to be doing.
So coming up, if you're thinking, okay, great, this has been fantastic, but what do I do, Steph? We have applications opening on August 1st if you'd like to be a volunteer at a regional flag football or regional soccer event. So those applications are on our website, play.nirsa.net, and you can go and even start working on your application so it's ready to go and ready to be submitted on August 1st. You can also see on our website, we have an updated list of all the regional tournaments that are happening in your area. So if you're thinking, okay, great, but it's so far, it's not. You can make the trip. So that's the plug, and that's what I need from y'all.
Now, hey, y'all heard it. I'm going to say, don't let her have to ask you again. Okay, let's go. It's time. Look, summer's almost over. August is right around the corner. We're about to get into that fall semester. You know what time it is. It's go time. All right,
it's go time.
Just do it now. Do it now. Get prepared now. Let's get in shape. Look, I'm not in shape to fit these stripes anymore, but you get in shape to get ready to run for this fall season. Stephanie, thank you so much. All right, look, we got to do this again. You got a whole year of being in this position. We got to do this again because I'm pretty sure y'all have constant deadlines and constant things that y'all want to push out to the NIRSA Network. What better place to do it than right here with the NIRSA Live Host? This is where y'all need to be. All right, this is where y'all need to be. Stephanie, Calhoun, Statesboro, Georgia, committee chair, heart of the series. Y'all better lock in. It's NIRSA Network, baby. Hey, Si, give us some music. Take us on up out of here. Stephanie, thank you so much.
Thank you. I
Thank
had
you
fun.
so much for coming out with us. We appreciate it. And look, we up out of here, y'all. Y'all have a great Friday. Listen to the music, vibe with us a little bit, and then y'all go into the weekend. Good time. Have a good time. Oh, have a good time. Yay!